Here we have some iPhone news. Face ID dual hole design to be limited to iPhone 14 Pro in 2022, but expanding to all iPhones in 2023. Okay. So this comes back to this rumor. This from display analyst Ross Young reiterated his expectations for the iPhone 14 lineup and provided some color on what's coming in the future. So we've seen this dual front-facing cutout, which a lot of people are like, well, what's the but you might as well just have the notch if you got all this stuff on the front. Maybe they have a point. To me, this looks more futuristic, and it's like, why not? The notch has been there, for so long, and it's just fun to see. It is miniaturized a little bit, and it does give you the impression of more display. I don't know how useful it is, having this little bit of extra above there and in between, but it's a fun design.
It's a cleaner look too.
It's a better look. I mean, if I'm honest, that's what they say in the UK. If I'm honest. Anyway, so you have a separation of the front components. Essentially, you have the front-facing camera, which is independent of the remainder of technology necessary for the current Face ID technology. So, like your IR, your dot projection, et cetera, which you're a big guy when it comes to that.
Yeah, the Face ID works really well.
You're always with the dot projection every time we're talking. So anyway, the key with this report is that it would only be on the Pro model, so they would have a way of distinguishing Pro from regular, and then eventually roll it out to the remainder of non-Pro iPhones at a later date. This is a two-stage scenario, which Apple, how they work and how they would consider this. They would say, okay, maybe from a manufacturing standpoint, it's easier not to shift the whole thing over, but also, and this is what I like to think about, especially after yesterday seeing them maintain this design for the iPhone SE, Apple's always thinking about how to arrange the customers, how to persuade, where to offer options, where to apply finesse. And when they do their presentation, they're going to say, and this is the new iPhone 14 Pro. And then it shows...
Just barfs on the mic.
Exactly. I don't know about you, but that gets me excited.
Yeah.
And then they show this new formula on the front, and people are like, that's the one I want, because that's the new one. And then when the regular one has the old notch on there, that's going to be for people that are okay with it, but it will encourage a few more people to upgrade in the meantime. It's all very interesting, the way they maneuver features and options for different models just at the right pace, with the right amount of market research to understand their customers and how to persuade them.
I agree. I think the physical look of these things, whether it's like a 2-camera versus a 3-camera, I think that makes a huge difference in your perception of luxury, the higher Pro version,
and your perception of newness. It's very interesting. Like, they don't have a problem putting their latest chip in an old piece of hardware.
And they're probably not. They're okay with the notch as well.
They when I saw the iPhone SE yesterday, and they said we're going to upgrade the chip and we're going to carry this design into 2022. That can only come from a company that knows their customer very well. This is why I was saying only Apple can do this. Apple was kind of bragging, saying only Apple can do this. But there were also criticisms on social media saying only Apple can do this in a complaining kind of way because of the grip that they have on that customer. But that grip is not as simple as some people want it to be, and to say, oh, those people are brainwashed. It's like, well, that's an oversimplification. People are persuaded to be interested in all kinds of different things, and people want and like different things for a variety of reasons. The persuasion takes place over a long period of time, by Apple holding on to a traditional object that some individuals are comfortable with, I promise you they know. They know what they're doing. And they must have people coming in asking for it. They must have people coming in and saying, I don't want that, swiping Face ID thing. I want to have Touch ID. I want it to be like my old phone.
Right.
And for that customer, this thing persists, and it just so happens to be faster now. So I wouldn't doubt when Apple does something, I would assume tremendous preparation and research
Right.
in most cases. Now, of course, there's outliers in that area, like that wireless charge mat that vanished and they never could figure out for whatever crazy reason.
I'm sure.
And
come
possibly
back.
you could possibly even add the mini model, which apparently didn't sell very well and might be obsolete. That when it comes to the premium price tag, then the small one apparently isn't really attractive. But at the low price tag, for a certain customer who they seem to have discovered and maintained, the combination of the smaller phone with the cheap price tag, that is a thing
Yes.
that people will apparently buy.